In this video, 5 facts about a device I've had for 3 years and literally use every single day. In fact, I'm making this very video with the ATEM Mini Pro. Mine's the ISO version by Blackmagic Design. This is a tremendous piece of hardware. It's literally the backbone of my home studio. Got it in late 2020, maybe 6 or 7 or 8 months after it initially came out, and instantly realized it's exactly what I wanted. I was considering maybe even going the computer route and using software like OBS to do all my camera switching and graphics and such, but eventually I settled in on the ATEM Mini Pro, and it was the right decision. Hardware-based, reliable, does the job, completely silent, right? No computer fan going on there. I have 2 of these. I bought a second one for my remote streaming kit. That's how much I believe in this ecosystem. And that's how perfect I think Blackmagic Design got it. What is the ATEM Mini Pro, by the way? It's a video switcher. It's got the ability to do so much more, even mix audio, compression, EQ on channels. You can record with it, plug a hard drive into the back. It's recording this video right now, but I could live stream it. I could hook this up to a computer USB-C style and use it as a webcam input. So I could send all of this through a Zoom call. It is so flexible, so versatile. There's a software side of it too. Again, like they just hit every box. They checked every box Blackmagic Design did when they came out with this. So I use this a ton. I know it inside and out. I want to share these 5 facts about it. Maybe you've got one or maybe you're considering the purchase. But let me just say this. Above anything else, this product could not have come out and hit the market at a better time than early 2020 when it did. Obviously that year, because of the world health crisis, that so many people started broadcasting from home. So many people needed a video switcher just like this, something to, again, be that backbone of their home studio. Nothing like this ever existed. People talked about it. People used bigger versions of this. I mean, like products that cost 10 times as much as this. They way overdid it. There was nothing like with professional features at more of a consumer price. There was nothing like this on the market. So these have sold well. There's the mini version, the Mini Pro version, the Mini ISO version. There's the Pro Extreme. Now there's HDMI versions and SDI versions. So they've really expanded on something that's done so well. There's a bunch of different flavors of this product. But again, Blackmagic Design could not have had this hit the market at a better time. It just came out in early 2020. Who knew by the end of the year I would have one, and months after that I would own 2 of them. A lot of people own these right now. Here's fact number 2, which I think is so critical. HDMI inputs and signal conversion by this device, they are very underrated. Now, what I mean by that is the fact that with HDMI inputs like I have here on the back, there are so many different types of devices that you can plug in to this switcher. Your typical DSLR, or for example, the GoPro camera, or as I show it here on the screen, like that's my computer's input. That's my Mac computer's input making this keynote presentation. And there's 4 channels of input here video-wise, but the fact that it uses HDMI for me and my ecosystem is perfect. There's also the SDI version, which may be right for you, depending on what equipment you have. But signal conversion, that's the part I really want to get into here, right? There's a bunch of different types of video signals. 1080, 720. Now, this doesn't do 4K. I want to be clear about that, but different frame rates. 60 frames a second, 59.9 and 30 and 29.97, 24, 25, 50. There's all these different frame rates. This hardware will convert anything you put into it, and it'll put out exactly what you specify in one unified fashion. So you can plug in 4 different types of HDMI video signals and request the one type out. It'll convert everything in and out and take care of it for you. There's nothing to worry about. I mean, think of the value of that alone. Some people pay a couple $100 per every channel of converting the HDMI signal into what they need. This product literally does all of that for you in stride and mixes it and does transitions and overlays and all that stuff. So Very important to know that signal conversion, nobody talks about it because they just take it for granted. But the fact that this device does it is absolutely huge. Everything is compatible with this, essentially. Okay, here's another thing you need to know. The software buttons for this switcher and the macros you can create through the software are far more valuable, far more useful than the actual tactile buttons here on the switcher. I rarely ever touch buttons on the switcher. Literally. Like I hit start and stop on the record. I could use the Stream Deck and a hotkey for that. I choose to use record on off and stream on off. And maybe I can switch around the multi-view over here. But pretty much everything I do is using the Stream Deck, which is attached through BitFocus Companion to the macro software side of this. I don't actually manipulate much of the switcher with the physical hardware buttons. I found that these are a bit clumsy, tedious, too small. They're quality. They push fine. Like there's no response issue, but it's not. This part is not of a maybe professional level and what you might be used to if you're actually using a real TV switcher at a network studio or a production truck. So I have found that the software buttons that I use, either on the screen or like again with the Stream Deck here, these are way more useful in getting the most out of the ATEM or getting it to do what I want it to do versus using the buttons on the actual hardware itself. Too bad. They could customize those. They don't. Okay, the multi-view is a luxury for your home studio setup. And look, there you can see it right there. So this is my switcher, but what's on this screen right here, no, not this one. This is just the keynote presentation, but right up here is the multi-view that the ATEM is producing with audio levels, with all of my inputs to let me know that I've been recording for 7 minutes and change. The audio levels entirely on the bottom right. If I'm streaming, it's got a data rate there. So everything I need to see all in one place. And the fact that, again, that's just another thing that this device does. It doesn't have a tiny screen on it where I can't read it. It literally puts out a multi-view that I would get at the TV network where I work. It is of that quality and caliber. It is a luxury for a home studio setup to know that I can look at a multi-view that this thing is producing. So that is something that exceeds expectations. It was one of the early things I realized I loved about this when I first got it. Okay, and this is getting close to the end of the list here, but this is so important. This device is noise-free. That's right. It does have a fan, but it does not make noise. And I told you earlier I was considering going the computer route, the PC route, putting OBS on something, but computers have fans, and especially computers that are handling multiple HDMI signals and graphics cards, and yeah, they get hot and they need a way to cool down. This ATEM right here, it's never really got that hot. And the only time the fan ever comes on is when you start it up after doing a firmware update. I think that's just procedural. Fan never comes on. And in this recording space, I've done so much here to try and keep it acoustically treated. Although I hear a truck outside right now. But I've done so much to try and keep the noise completely silent in this home studio. The last thing I want is a computer that makes noise 2 feet away from the microphone. That would be terrible. But the ATEM makes no noise. And that's why it's perfect for a home studio setup. In an office, yeah, you could have a central equipment room. You could put that, down the hall and you could shut the door on it. You can air condition that, fine. But here in a home studio, it's likely that every piece of hardware you're using is in the same room as you. So it needs to be silent. This is. There you go. 5 facts of the ATEM Mini Pro. I love this thing. I really do. It was a game changer for my home studio. The fact that I can live stream from it right from the Ethernet cord that goes out the back. I mean, literally connect it right to YouTube, stream flawlessly. I can record on the hard drive that goes out the back. I can send it USB-C to the computer for a Zoom call. So flexible, so versatile. This has truly been a game changer, and I would buy it all over again in a heartbeat. if I went back in time. So let me know what you think about this video in the comments section below. Subscribe to this channel for more content just like this, and thumbs up on this video if it provided you some value.